Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a really fascinating journey, I think. We're taking a close look at some ancient sacred objects, specifically the items you'd find inside a biblical temple setting.
Yeah, and these aren't just, museum pieces.
Exactly. Our sources suggest they hold these profound, sort of layered meanings. They connect the everyday, the earthly, to the divine in some really surprising ways.
It's quite compelling how the different sources we looked at offer these unique interpretations. You start seeing connections you wouldn't expect at first glance.
That's precisely what we're aiming for here. Our mission for this deep dive is basically to unpack these symbols, to offer you, the listener, a kind of shortcut.
A shortcut to understanding, yeah.
To see how these seemingly simple items can actually represent incredibly complex spiritual, even existential truths.
Right.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're going to explore how each item tells a powerful story, often with multiple facets.
Where should we start?
Let's begin with the bronze altar. Now, its basic function was the place where sacrifices were made, right?
A primary function, yes.
But beyond that practical use, the symbolism our sources point to is just, wow, it stretches dramatically.
It really does.
You've got everything from this image of raw, fiery judgment, almost like a spiritual Hades, you could say.
Intense purification.
To these surprising ideas of cleansing through baptism, or even seeing it as a kind of spiritual bathhouse, a complete washing away.
It's quite the range.
The core insight, though, seems to be that the path to transformation, according to these texts, often involves a pretty radical, maybe intense process of purification, letting go.
Absolutely. And what's striking is how all these diverse interpretations, whether it's through sacrifice or that spiritual cleansing idea, they all point towards a profound renewal.
Transformation.
Yeah, radical change. Often through something like a refining fire. It's not gentle.
Okay, so from that fiery altar, let's shift focus. Let's talk about light with the golden lampstand.
The menorah.
Right. Designed, obviously, to give light in the darkness. Symbolically, it points to the sun as the light of the world, the Holy Spirit, represented by those seven spirits of God, and even believers reflecting that light out into the world.
And it powerfully represents the church itself as a source of light. It's not just about a static divine presence, is it?
No, it feels more active.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It suggests this outward shining purpose, both for the divine and for people to reflect that light too.
Okay, now, moving from outward ritual towards maybe inner reality, the veil. This one, for me, offered some of the most transformative insights from the sources.
Yes, the parashe.
This thick curtain separating the holy place from the most holy place. Traditionally, sure, it's a physical divider.
But the symbolism goes much deeper.
Oh, yeah. It's interpreted as the physical body of the Son who came as the last Adam, or even things like the clouds that block the path to God's actual throne.
That's fascinating. And I was particularly struck by the interpretation of the veil as the inner me.
The inner me.
Yeah, like my fleshly self. The part of us that prevents the divine within from actually being seen or revealed.
Wow. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. This idea of something within us being the actual barrier.
Exactly. It reframes it completely. It's not just some external curtain in a temple. It's an internal one we all have that needs to be parted for, true revelation.
That really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? Puts the focus squarely on our own internal landscape.
It does.
Okay, so finally, let's move to the most sacred item, the Ark of the Covenant.
The Aran Habrit.
The Ark itself is just packed with meaning, according to these texts. It's seen as the governing principle of creation itself. The actual covenant made with believers, evidence of, rebellion against God, proof that divine principles can actually be kept.
That's a key one.
And even God becoming human. A lot.
It is. And then you look inside the Ark and you find even more layers. The 2 stone tablets, for instance.
The commandment.
Yes, but symbolizing the Son himself, embodying both the divine law and the essence of life, meant to be written not just on stone, but, deep within us.
On our hearts, so to speak.
Right, leading either to life-giving fruit if you obey or, judgment if you don't.
And alongside them, the jar of manna, that symbolizes the Son as our spiritual food.
Our sustenance, yes. Yeah. The living word that truly nourishes us.
And then there's Aaron's rod. That's another really powerful one.
The almond branch that budded.
Signifying God's promise fulfilled, the one upon whom God's 7 spirits remember the lampstand descend.
The 7 lamps connected to the Lamb who possesses those 7 spirits.
And critically, it also represents the consequence, even death, for opposing the authority God has established.
It's quite compelling when you see how those contents work together. Divine law, spiritual sustenance, and God-appointed authority.
It forms a complete picture.
Yeah, a sort of holistic understanding of truth and humanity's relationship to it.
So, okay. What does this all actually mean? We started with these, seemingly straightforward temple objects.
Physical items.
And we've uncovered this incredible depth of interpretation, from external acts of purification to our innermost barriers, from divine law to our daily spiritual food.
I think a key takeaway here really is how these ancient symbols, even with their varied, sometimes maybe contradictory interpretations.
Right, like the altar being Hades and baptism.
Exactly. Despite that, they consistently point towards deeply personal, universal truths about our own journey, and the nature of existence itself.
That's well put.
And it raises, I think, an important question for you, for the listener. If these ancient objects are so incredibly rich with meaning, what other things in our everyday lives, seemingly ordinary things, might hold profound hidden truths just waiting for us to uncover them?
If only we look closely enough.
If only we look closely enough. Something to think about.